A horse standing at the edge of a slaughterhouse rarely gets a second look. Most people assume Shane was simply too far gone to save. But the quiet way he stood there, waiting without a fight, told a different story entirely. His hooves had grown long, heavy as flippers, each step a small act of endurance. He was thin, his ribs visible beneath a dull coat, and he carried himself with something closer to humility than fear. He did not flinch when strangers approached. He did not pull away. He simply stood, patient, as if he had already given up expecting kindness. He was roughly 10 years old enough to have known hard years of work, young enough still to have a future ahead of him if someone was willing to give him one. The decision to take him in happened quickly, without hesitation. The difficult part came after. The first days were slow and painful. Every step Shane took was a negotiation with his own damaged legs. Lifting a hoof off the ground took visible effort, his muscles trembling with the strain. He did not resist care, even when it must have hurt. He simply endured it, the way he had endured everything else. When the vet first examined him, Shane stood still, sniffing quietly at the air, ears turned toward every new sound. He did not startle, he did not pull back. It was as if some part of him understood that this discomfort was different from the pain he had known before, that this was the beginning of something, not the end of it. Healing rarely announces itself. It arrives quietly in small moments most people would miss. After his first surgery, something in Shane shifted. He stepped outside cautiously at first, testing the ground beneath him, listening to what his body would allow. Then, without warning, he broke into a clumsy run. His legs were unsteady, his gait far from graceful, but his head was high and his ears were forward. He ran simply because, for the first time in a long while, he could. Those who watched him that day stood quietly, some with tears they did not try to hide. There is a particular kind of relief that comes without words. Shane had not just survived. He was beginning to feel something again. Shane was not the first horse rescued this way, and he would not be the last. It began years earlier with a horse named Colby, pulled from that same slaughterhouse in the late summer of 2020. A visit back to that place the following January changed everything. What had been a single rescue became a promise. No former workhorse should end up there again. Since then, more than 80 horses have passed through these gates. Old ones, tired ones, ponies, and workhorses nobody else wanted. Each is met not with judgment, but with patience, given as much time as they need to heal, whether that means weeks, years, or the rest of their lives. Some move on to new homes, others stay for good. Every one of them is cared for as if their story matters, because it does. Now Shane greets each morning with an eager call, cantering across the field with the loose, easy joy of a much younger horse. There is nothing dramatic about it. It is simply a horse running because he finally can. Rescue changes an animal's world in ways that are easy to see. The healed legs, the steady gait, the calm eyes. But spend enough time with horses like Shane and you start to wonder who the rescue really belonged to. What do you think? Has an animal ever taught you something about patience or trust you didn't expect? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.